Colorado High School Activities Association football is on Morgan County's B106 on the TuneIn app and on B106.com this afternoon from Ralph Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction. It's the opening round of the Class 3A football playoffs as the Fort Morgan Mustangs, the 16 seed, take on the top seed Palisade Bulldogs along with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. I'm John Beltran. Momentarily we'll get to Brian's nickel package and, of course, our national anthem as well. We'll set it downstairs here as the Mustangs come into the game with an 8-2 record. Palisade is 9-1. Palisade a conference champion, and the Mustangs is a runner-up in the North Valley League. Mustangs, dating back to as far as we can go, Kevin, have won 9 consecutive opening round playoff games, so this is certainly something that they should be ready for, considering their history as a school and the type of season they've had.
Absolutely. They, as far as back as we can go, as you said, and those include away games as well as home games. So the fact that we're here in Grand Junction doesn't really have any play on that. So they have a tradition of winning, and I think the team that they play today is a team that if Fort Morgan plays not perfect but plays their game and minimizes mistakes, has a really good chance of coming out on top.
All right, Brian, let's get to your nickel package quickly here on the 5 things the Mustangs have to do to win.
First one is control the run game. They rush for 318 yards a game, so they got to control that. Force a turnover. The Mustangs have forced 19 so far this year. Nice to get another one today. Offensively, continue what you're doing. Run the ball, throw the ball once in a while. It'd be nice to get a few more completions on the passing side of it. Number 4, penalties. You got to keep your penalties down today. You don't want to be in a 1st and 20 or 2nd and 25. And 5, time management. We saw that at the end of the game last year, but you want to use your timeouts wisely and not waste them, and just be ready to play and have fun.
Mustangs have won the toss. They've deferred until the second half, and we know, Kevin, that defense is going to be a huge key for Fort Morgan because the offense really kept them in the game last week for the most part in a 3-point loss to Erie.
Yeah, somewhat of an offensive struggle, if you can call it that. It wasn't quite a shootout. The score was high enough. But it certainly was pretty much every team scored most of the time. We didn't see the punters very much at all. So it'll be interesting to see if Fort Morgan has a game plan. Josh Langford, the defensive coordinator, always has his boys ready, and I'm sure he's scouted and he knows what they're going to come at and how to play them.
All right, part of our team is also back in Fort Morgan, our sound engineer and producer, Herrick Curtis, and our replay engineer, Emily Hernandez, joining us here for this complete broadcast. Let's take it downstairs for the playing of this afternoon's national anthem from Ralph Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction. All right, the Mustangs are coached by Ty Davies, assisted by Josh Langford, Greg Edson, Jim Kreckemeyer, Ian Morando, Andy Schoen, TJ Schneider, Seth Wolf, Chris Cobley, Jeff Peterson, Eric Sherman, Kyle Growlis, Drew Davies, and Gary Davies. Joe Ramona, the head coach of the Bulldogs, assisted by Jake Brubaker, Coulter Bentley, Jared Frazier, along with Dan Green, Levi Hoagland, Landon McKee, Benny Ramirez, Ben Steele, and Sean Tucker. Palisade dressed in their home grays with the What color pants would you describe that? Purplish, maroonish.
Yep.
And the Mustangs in their road whites with the black numerals and the black helmets. The winner will take on the winner of the other game ongoing between Evergreen and Meade from Meade High School in Longmont. Evergreen the 8th seed and Meade the 9th seed, but Meade won their conference title, so they are the home team for that game this afternoon from Longmont. And as Kevin was talking about on Facebook Live, and as we've been documenting as well, Brian, special teams a big key, because we know that we've seen opposing kickers that have been really, really good this season. And Adam Cardona, although he's been very good on extra points lately, the kickoff doesn't always, but it can be an issue because he's trying to hug the sideline with a kick.
Right, and I think last week against Erie, they were trying to keep it away from their return man, so that's why they were kind of putting their kicking off short and off to the side. So we'll see today just how deep he gets it downfield. But special teams is a third of the play, and it's got to come up to par to win the game.
Well, it looks like. Let's see, we got a 20. That might be Jimenez kicking it off then. Now, we don't have a 20 on the fresh roster. I don't think we had a, nope.
I think he was 20 at the start of the season, though, I believe.
Yeah,
he's got the shoes for it.
Yeah, 17, so that's Jimenez to kick it off, and we know how good he is, Kevin.
Yep, he's an excellent weapon, and for the most part, kicks and gets touchbacks.
All right, 2 deep men there for Palisade to begin this opening round, Class 3A playoff game from Ralph Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction. Jimenez up to the football. He boots us high, but it's fairly short. It'll be fielded at the 14, running to his left to the 20, and trying to get a seam to the outside to about the 26, 27-yard line. And they've got those numbers that are very hard to spot here for Palisade. But that was Jason Bruce, who's actually one of their leading rushers. Cam Tucker, the quarterback, is the leading rusher. So the possession is at the 28-yard line officially. 1st and 10. This is an option team. 2 receivers to the right. Everybody bunched in tight in the middle. Tucker under center. Man in motion. He'll keep it himself. Tucker up the middle. And he's hit after a yard. The Mustangs in at the 29-yard line. Isaac Linker. He's at a huge seat. He could be first team all-conference both on offense and defense. He makes the play for a gain of 1.
Yeah, he's the leading tackler for the Mustangs this year. So he got in there for only a gain of 1. That's great.
2nd down and 9 to go for Palisade. 8,000-seat facility here in Grand Junction. Now only 1 receiver to the right. And here is Tucker this time. Option left. He'll keep the football across the 30, and then he's piled up close to a first down, though, as he was able to drive across the 35 to the 37. Nick Norris out there along with a couple of other Mustangs, but that was a much more successful play for the Palisade Bulldogs. We'll give them a gain of 8. And it's 3rd down and a long 1 to go, just shy of the 37.
Early opportunity for Fort Morgan to step up and make a 3rd down stop here and get the ball back early.
All right, double tights right now. 3rd and 1, man in motion. Tucker, a pitch right, a first down across the 40, swinging it to the outside, and that's Jason Bruce tackled at the 44-yard line. Had a lane to the outside. Edson and Nick Norris got him, and a penetration as well over there by Donovan Moya. But it's a gain of 7 and a first down for Palisade as Bruce picks up that first down.
Looks like Fort Morgan's defense is setting up to stop the quarterback, Tucker, and an inside run, and that's going to leave us vulnerable to those outside runs.
Opening drive of the game, 10:33 to go in the first. 1st and 10. And play action, looking to throw Tucker. The left-handed quarterback throws it deep up the left side, incomplete. He had a man open out there a couple of steps, but he overthrew him. And, Brian, that's something that you were seeing here in warm-ups where Tucker had trouble with his targets.
Yeah, when they were warming up here in front of us here, yeah, he was overthrowing 3 or 4 in a row. He was overthrowing his receivers.
I think Tucker also must go out for the school musical, because on that, after he threw the ball, the Fort Morgan defender jumped up and barely brushed him, and he went to the ground and acted like he'd gotten hit. So, they're playing that sort of game as well.
Jared Brown was the intended receiver. Connor Fajardo on the coverage, just shy of the 45. 2nd down, handoff right up the gut across the 50 into Mustang territory at the 46, close to a first down. That was a straight dive to Cole Scherter. And, boy, he's near the stick, but they'll call him half a yard short. A gain of 9 for Scherter. 3rd down and 1, and 2nd one has hurt Fort Morgan so far in this series.
Yeah, they need to try to stop that on second down. They got to try and stop it here on third. It'll be tough, though, with the runners they've got.
3rd down and 1 for the Mustang 46-yard line. Yeah, they're not going to do anything fancy. They'll throw the football maybe 10 times in a game, if even that. For the Mustang 46, the setback right behind the quarterback. Quarterback keeper, 1st down, and back up the middle and still driving inside the 40, across the 40 to the 39. Linker got him from behind, but Cam Tucker with a gain of about, let's give him 8 yards. Or 7 yards from the 46 to the 39. It's 1st and 10 for Palisade. Tucker's got 3 carries for 16 yards, and the Mustangs obviously got to stay disciplined on defense, but that's a good offensive line there for Palisade. 1 receiver out to the right in a double wing. Man in motion, and there's Tucker with a football. Option left. Now he pitches it. That might have gone forward. Nope, they're going to call it a pitch along the sideline across the 25 to the 24. That was very close. And let's see, that was Sebastian Campbell on the pitch. And the gain went all the way to the 25, a gain of 14. And a 1st down. Campbell hasn't had the ball much this year, but that time he was able to get it and took it to the outside.
It looks like Palisade just seems to be having their way on this first drive.
Well, Fort Morgan's had a bend, but don't break defense. 1st and 10 for the Mustang 25-yard line. Man in motion. There's the pitch right once again. A seam to the 20-yard line. Back to the inside and rattled down at the 16, but it's a gain of close to 9. And that's another strong run over there. And that time it was Jason Bruce once again. And Bruce with another big carry. 2nd down and 1 before a couple of Mustangs made the play along the near sideline in front of the Fort Morgan bench.
Other than their one pass play, they've had positive yardage on every play, and we've stopped them for a 1-yard gain once. And other than that, they've had probably 6-7 yards per play.
This will be the 9th play of the drive. 2nd down and 1 for Palisade at the Morgan 16-yard line on the right hash mark. Campbell in motion, handoff up the gut. That's a 1st down across the 15, held up. Not much of a gain. I believe that might have been Brown on the carry to the 13-yard line. Nope, that was Cole Scherter. Stacked up there by the middle there. James Hocanetto in on the play along with another Mustang, but Scherter picks up the 1st down. And they're at the 13-yard line, and Palisade doesn't waste much time in the huddle, Brian.
No, they get their play and they go. I didn't notice if they're running it in from the sideline or how they're getting them, but
1st and 10 for the Fort Morgan 13. The drive started at their own 28. Option right. Tucker pitches it along the sideline, and a great penetration there by Isaac Linker, throwing him down at the line of scrimmage, and he was shading Bruce the entire time, and it's no gain. 2nd down and 10, and now the key is the 2nd down play that has really hurt Fort Morgan in this first series.
That's the first time that they've really played disciplined defense and had one guy tackle each of the threats. You have to have one guy stop that fullback, one guy get the quarterback, and one guy get the pitch.
Well, look at Northridge, look at Niwot, look at some of these games they've had. The first series is the one that Fort Morgan struggled with defensively. 2nd down and 10 for the Morgan 13. There's the counter to Campbell running left side, and an excellent tackle maybe for a yard. That was a great open field tackle by Eddie DePriest, the sophomore, to the 12, maybe the 11. 3rd down, and we'll call it a short 9 to go for Palisade, and that was disciplined football because DePriest was really the only one out there.
Right, and as you said, Fort Morgan's a bend but not break, and maybe that's going to come true, and they're going to hold them here to a field goal or maybe even a 4th and whatever.
3rd down and a long 8 to go, shy of the 11. This will be an option, and keeping the football is Tucker right back up the middle. He's across the 10 to the 6, picks up 5 yards in the play, but the Mustangs were there to make the tackle in the middle of that pile once again. Big Nick Norris, the junior. It'll be 4th down after Tucker picks up the 5 yards. 4th down and 2.
we're going to kick.
Yeah, make it 4th and 3, actually.
They're lining up to kick anyway.
True, yes.
But we would expect a kick at this point.
Off the hold of Cam Tucker. This will be a 24-yard field goal, and that one is up. And that one is right in between the uprights. It's made by Ben Sargent. We have 6:30 to go in the opening quarter. Fort Morgan has yet to touch the football. Palisade leads Fort Morgan 3-0. You're listening to the 2018 Colorado High School Football Playoffs on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. That's a moral victory for the Mustangs. Only a 24-yard field goal by Ben Sargent. And the lead is 3-0 for Palisade. And now Sargent Well, that might be the other kicker in there to kick it off high and fairly deep, and backing up at the 1 yard line is Hamer to the 10-yard line, running to his left to the 15, back to the middle to the 20. Hamer along the sideline, crosses the 25 to the 27, a return of 26 yards, and that's where the Mustangs will set up with who should be the conference quarterback of the year and one of the top running backs, Linker and Hamer, respectively.
Palisade had shutouts the last 3 games, but those were against teams with a collective record of 12 and 18. Earlier in the season, they were giving up more points to their opponents.
Mustangs right up to the line of scrimmage, looking over at the bench for play instructions. On 1st and 10, with a football at the 27-yard line. From the pistol, Linker, 2-step drop, throws over the middle, complete to Jacob Ortega. Breaks that tackle across the 35 to the 37, close to a first down. He's right at the stick. It is a gain of 10 on the first play from scrimmage for Fort Morgan. Linker to Ortega.
Nice quick pass that's easy and gives the quarterback a little bit of confidence there. Something that he can see that he's wide open and just get it right to him.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. And we know for Fort Morgan being the 16th seed, they've got a lot to play for, but all the pressure's on Palisade to win this game. On 1st down, Linker again from the pistol. High snap, hands it off to Hamer. He's got a seam across the 45, up the right sideline to the 50, across the 50 to the 48. It's a first down and a gain of 15 for the senior, J.P. Hamer.
It looked like they got a nice hole over there on that right side, and he's quick into it and picked up a nice first down.
Hamer exploded through that hole. 1st and 10 for the Palisade 48-yard line. 5:30 to go in the opening quarter. Ernie Sandoval in on that left slot. 3-0 Palisade. Linker awaiting the snap. Sandoval in motion, resets. And Linker hands it off to Hamer. Stutter stepping back to the middle across the 45. And then he's taken down by the ankles of the 42. It's a gain of 6 by J.P. Hamer. The tackle was made by Cody Cordova, a 5'10", 175-pound senior linebacker. Good start for Hamer. 2 carries for 21 yards. It's at the 22-yard line. 2nd down and 4 for the Mustangs.
So Hamer doing a nice job hitting those holes quick.
2 receivers out to the left. Once again, Hamer the lone setback. Sandoval resets to the right. Linker awaits a snap, hands it off to Hamer. Stutter steps, and then he's tackled in the backfield. Yeah, could not find anything there and tried to run sideways, and Joseph Alejo made the tackle, the junior linebacker. It's a loss of 3. 3rd down and 7 to go for Fort Morgan.
First challenge for the Fort Morgan offense to come up long and see how they respond.
Well, I think JP was looking for a hole there. He probably should have just taken it up and got back to the line of scrimmage, and he wanted to swing it to the outside. But nonetheless, you're right. This is a first-time challenge for the offense in this game. 3rd down and 7 to go for the Palisade 45-yard line. Rolling to his left as Linker wants to throw. He'll take off with the football along the sideline. He's running out of room. There's a flag down, and Hamer, check that, Linker's down at the 46. He lost a yard, and that penalty more than likely will be a holding call against Fort Morgan.
Yep.
And that'll be declined. It'll be 4th down and 8 as Linker took the 1-yard loss. However, they could put Palisade in bad field position here. I doubt they would take this penalty.
No, they are declining it. The coaches let them know.
The opening kickoff today in this classic brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance and Brush in Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan deferred, and Palisade did go 66 yards. They started at the 28. 24-yard field goal by Sargent got him on the board. And this looks like Jacob Ortega to punt this time.
It is.
Not Alex. Jacob standing at his own 40. Perfect snap.
Frankie.
He gets it off. No, that is Frankie. High and fluttering, and a fair catch at the 22. Falling to the turf there was Jason Bruce, and Frankie hasn't kicked in a while. I think he had a hip issue, but apparently he's healthy enough to kick. So with 3:25 to go in the first quarter, Palisade with a 3-0 lead as their second possession at their own 22-yard line.
So that's a nice field swap there for position.
Well, they got to make this hold, though.
Yeah.
1st and 10 from their own 22 with 3:25 to go in the opening quarter. Cam Tucker, the quarterback, man in motion. This will be a give on the left side, and Tucker's hit, and so is the running back. And a tackle after a gain of a couple there by Cole Scherter at the 24. See, Nick Norris brought down the quarterback, Tucker. So you really got to follow everybody here. It's a very complex offense at times with the way they run the option.
That was a good stop by Fort Morgan. Hokenadel shifted to the left, and then they ran to our right side, and we were still able to stop them.
2nd down and 8 to go for Palisade at their own 24-yard line, leading 3-0. Under 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Campbell in motion to the left. Tucker takes it himself up the left side and back to the middle, across the 25 to the 29. It's a gain of 5, setting up a 3rd down and 3. And James Hokenadel, along with Jacob Ortega, in on the hit.
Yeah, Tucker's a big boy. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds, so he's be a load to bring down.
5 carries for 26 yards for the senior. 3rd and 3 from their own 29. One receiver out to the right. Tucker will pitch it right and back to the middle across the 30, backing his way to the 31. Nick Norris got him around the ankles initially. That's close to a 1st down at almost a favorable spot. Man, he looks short by about half a yard. And the Mustangs have held. Now, they're going to go for it here, even though they're deep in their own territory. No reason to think that they might not go for it here because it's 4th down. And I would say maybe a foot, if even that, at their own 31.5-yard line. And Nick Norris is ailing over there. He's favoring an ankle.
Yeah, he was out early before the game getting it retaped. So,
what do you do here? Do you sell out as a defense? Well, maybe a quarterback sneak here by Tucker.
Yeah.
4th down and a foot to go at their own 31. Tucker, 1st down behind his left guard to the 33. Yeah, he just faked that handoff and took it himself. That was an easy pickup. Gain of 2, and the drive continues for Palisade. And he's not even looking to stay on his feet. No. Just follow a teammate and fall, or get hit and fall immediately.
Yeah, when you've only got less than a yard to go.
1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Approaching the 1-minute mark. The pitch left to Campbell to the outside of the 35. He's still on his feet. He's got a 1st down. Across. The ball is fumbled at the last second, but no, he was down. Apparently Campbell was down at the 43. It's going to be a 1st down. They might give him the 44 along the far sideline. They stretched it out, a gain of 11. For Sebastian Campbell, 4 carries now for 29 yards, and their running game's been pretty good here in the opening quarter.
Yep, that's what they've done all year, 318 yards a game and 50 yards in the air, so they're comfortable with what they're doing.
Palisade at their own 44 on the left hash mark. Campbell in motion. Tucker will keep it himself along the left sideline, crossing the 50, and he's still on his feet. He's running hard to the 47. Mustangs tackled him too high, and that results in a 9-yard gain. There were a couple of Mustangs over there. One is still down flat on his back and getting up slowly. Got the brunt of the contact over there. And I believe that's Miko.
Yanez.
Yeah, Miko Yanez. It's a gain of 9, though, they'll backtrack it to the 48, but still a gain of 8 for Tucker. And he 7 carries now for 36 yards. From the 48, Tucker a handoff right side, and driving towards the 46, close to a 1st down, is the up man, and that is Cole Scherter. They'll give him 1, but I've noticed a couple of plays, Kevin, where Fort Morgan's got him near the line of scrimmage, and then they gain an extra couple of yards here.
Yeah, we're tackling them high, and they're just keeping their legs running, and their offensive line's moving the pile.
That's the end of the opening quarter with the score. Palisade 3, Fort Morgan nothing. This is the opening round of the Class 3A football playoffs from Grand Junction on Morgan County's B106, the TuneIn app, and B106.com. Along with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, I'm John Beltran as we head to the second quarter. Palisade with a lead by a score of 3-0 on a 24-yard field goal by Ben Sargent. And Palisade with a football once again. They've got A 3rd down and 1 for the Mustang 47. Tucker keeps it himself up the left side. He's got a 1st down right behind his guard to the 41. Nice job of faking and then maintaining possession of the ball. And that time he was able to gain 6 yards before Villalobos in the middle made the play. But Tucker again had 7 carries. He's on pace for well over 25 in this game.
He's not an easy guy to bring down. Keeps those legs driving.
1st down and 10 for Palisade at the 41. Here's Tucker again. Option left, keeps it himself. Cuts it back towards the middle. Across the 35. Near the 1st down marker. Brought down by Nick Norris and a couple of others. Alex Ortega. And then Isaac Linker at the 32. That's a gain of 9 for Tucker. And you're right. I mean, he's hard to bring down. He's hard to read whether he's pitching it or handing it off or keeping the football.
Right. And as Coach said in the pregame, he hasn't ran very much the last 3 games, and over the season he's averaged 14.6 carries per game. So, he's going to get the ball a lot.
Well, it's going to be a lot more today because he's got 8 so far. 2nd down, a yard to go for Palisade at the Fort Morgan 32. Already up with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. 3-0. Play action. Pass over the middle. Intercepted by Linker at the 23. Linker stutter step to the 30. Reverses his field to the 32. And Linker's down at the 33. Tucker doesn't throw much, 0 for 2 this game. An incompletion and an interception, and the Mustangs have their 2nd possession. And I am stunned that they threw the football there. No reason to do that. And Linker was just there in center field just waiting for the ball. And there was not even a receiver around the football.
That's his 4th interception of the season. Out of only 26 passes, 27 now.
Kevin, haven't you said this before, that sometimes teams try to outsmart themselves?
Yes,
I mean, there's no reason to even pass on that possession. Fort Morgan was having trouble stopping, and I think Palisade, and that time they benefit from the mistake. 2 receivers split each side from the 33. Linker will take it himself, stutter stepping, and he runs hard across the 35 and lowers his shoulder to the 36 for a gain of 3. I mean, it was a quick play action by Tucker.
Right. Well, there was a guy about, I don't know.
Way downfield.
Yeah, but he just, if he had lobbed that over the top, I think he had been there. He just threw that bullet, and Linker was right in their way.
Yeah, there was no loft to that football at all. 2nd down and 7 to go for the Mustangs at their own 36-yard line. 2 receivers split each side. Linker passed out the right flat, caught by Ortega, gets a block, but it's to no avail. And he's going to take a loss back to the 35. Cardona could not maintain the block. And on that receiver screen to the right, it's a loss of 2. 3rd down and 9 to go for Fort Morgan.
Looks like Fort Morgan's going to have to be able to mix that pass in pretty liberally today, because their running game certainly is getting stopped.
3rd down and 9 to go for the 34. Well, Hamer does have 3 carries for 18 yards, but he was thrown for a 3-yard loss in his most recent carry on the first drive. Trips to the left. 1 receiver to the right. Linker with a hand clap. Hamer the lone setback on 3rd and 9. 2-step drop. Play action. Looks to throw. Over the middle. The pass is incomplete. Off the hands of Adam Cardona at the 44. Thrown behind him. But I think Cardona, the junior, will tell you he should have made that catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was right in his hands, but when you're turning and still going away from the ball, it's kind of tough to bring that in. But he was open. It was there.
Yeah, I mean, he was still kind of running on his slant pattern, but that's why sometimes you have to sit there in that hole, in that seam.
Right.
But it's not easy on either side.
Yeah, you got to be able to adjust to the ball.
Frankie Ortega to punt on 4th and 9. Low snap, and he gets it off. A beautiful line drive, fielded at the 30 by Bruce. Wants to swing it to the outside. Donovan Moya has him from behind and brings him down at the 31, maybe the 32. And we got a late flag.
Yeah, it was a block in the back. The official was just so far downfield he couldn't throw it from there.
Yeah, I don't know why the official standing there didn't throw it, but
exactly.
9:20 to go, second quarter. John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, 3-0 Palisade. They have the football for the 3rd time. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins. It offers you a variety of banking needs, including agriculture and personal loans. That's High Plains Bank. And fill up your cooler and gas up your vehicle at Stubbs Gas and Oil. Convenient as well. Make them the only stop on your way to the big game. Palisade on their first possession drove 66 yards and a 24-yard field goal by Ben Sargent. It seems Fort Morgan's just hanging on right now.
Yeah, they haven't marked off the ball yet.
No, what are they doing?
I don't know.
I mean, it takes that long to mark off a penalty, or did we just start officiating for the first time?
I took less time deciding on the Southwest Cobb salad I had for lunch.
That's
today.
what a beautiful presentation of that salad. And Brian had a huge roast beef sandwich, which is inconsequential to this game or to the broadcast, but still worth mentioning for us. 1st and 10 at the 21. Tucker, option right. He pitches right along the sideline. The speedy Bruce has the sideline, and he runs out of bounds, pushed out by Connor Fajardo as he crosses the 30 towards the 35. If they give him that, it'll be a gain of 14 and a first down. And a great decision there by Tucker to pitch it at the last minute as Bruce was unguarded out there.
The official warning Isaac Linker to be careful not to hit the quarterback after he pitches, and Linker showing that he just gave him a little bit of a shove, and the quarterback's play acting a lot again.
At the 35, Tucker keeps it himself. A huge hole across the 50 by himself ahead of the field at the 30. Up the right sideline to the 15, the 5, and he's gone. 65 yards for Cameron Tucker. Right up the middle on the keeper. And Palisade leads Fort Morgan in this opening round 3A playoff game 9-0.
Yeah, he hit that hole over there, and everybody was drawn up with about 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. And when he broke through, he was untouched.
Yeah, nobody back for Fort Morgan. And now the extra point to be attempted by Ben Sargent.
And for a big guy, he got some distance, and no one is able to catch him. Even our really fast defensive backs could gain great yards on him.
Yeah, he's got that breakaway speed like Hamer does. The 20-yard extra point by Sargent is up, and that one is good. 9 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the second quarter in this opening round 3A playoff game. It's Palisade 10, Fort Morgan nothing on Morgan County's B106 on the TuneIn app and B106.com. Palisade has not had good field position in this game, but no big deal there. 79 yards, and they needed just
17 seconds.
In 2 plays? Yeah, that's it. The 14-yard run by Bruce, and that 65-yarder by the quarterback Cam Tucker, who already has 10 carries in the game, unofficially, for 116 yards. And now Sargent to kick it off for Palisade. Mustangs need points here, or at least take it deep into Palisade territory. They do receive the second half kickoff, so they can maximize their possessions throughout the remainder of the game. But this ball is booted up the sideline and 6 yards into the end zone, and Fort Morgan will start at their own 20-yard line, trailing 10-0.
Yeah, Tucker averages 124 yards a game, so he's almost to his average. So,
well, I think they got to stick with the running game. They gave it to Hamer, 2 carries for 21 yards in the first drive, took a 3-yard loss. They completely abandoned it during the second possession. They got to go to Hamer here. Here's their money man at this point. Not that the passing game can't work, but so far Linker is 1 out of 3 for 8 yards. 2 receivers split each side. J.P. Hamer is to Linker's left out of the pistol formation at the 20. This will be a handoff to Hamer. Stutter stepping back up the middle. He's got nothing. He is hit hard at the 20-yard line. And again, looking for his seam, and he couldn't find it there. The tackle was made by Ricardo Valenzuela, a 6'1", 250-pound senior lineman. 2nd down and 10 to go. Now Hamer has got negative 3 yards in his last 2 carries.
I think you need to bust it outside. They've had a bit more luck running it outside, and they're trying to run it up the middle, and it's just not there.
Trips to the right. Looks like Frankie Ortega's in as a receiver on the inside slot. 2nd down and 10 for the 20. Linker with a 5-step drop, looking, pressure backside, throws over the middle, and it's intercepted by Cam Tucker at the 36-yard line, back towards the middle, across the 30 to the 29. And Palisade now has come up with their first turnover. Both teams have thrown an interception for Linker. Only his 2nd interception thrown this season. His first came against Thomas Jefferson.
So far what I'm seeing is that Palisade's defensive line is just controlling the line of scrimmage, and where Fort Morgan gets its great running and where Hamer's able to get those yards is he's got those defenders taking steps back as Fort Morgan's blowing them off the line. And today it's not happening.
Let me tell you something. The game could end right now if they score a touchdown, even though we're in the second quarter. There's the pitch right to Bruce, and he runs right into a Mustang, and he's taken down maybe for a yard. Boy, that's great penetration by Norris and Moya on the Mustang left side to the 30-yard line. Second down and 9 to go for Palisade. Now, Fort Morgan, they have to string together those plays, Brian.
Yeah, it's a
scattered.
Yeah, it's you're not going to get back into this game in one play. You got to run it. You can't leave your game plan. You got to keep running the ball.
Second down and 9 yards to go for the Bulldogs at the Mustang 30. They're up 10-0, 7:35 to go second quarter in Grand Junction. Tucker will hand it off on the left side. That's a big hole there across the 30 to the 26. Looks like Cole Scherter on the carry. It's a gain of 4. James Hocanedo made the hit. Third down and 5 to go for Palisade. And here's the deal. They've got 2 plays, not 1 to gain the 5 yards. They're definitely going for it.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't pick up the first down, unless they take about a 10-yard loss. And even then they still might go for it because their defense has played that well.
And the field position. They're way down deep in Fort Morgan's position.
Yep.
Right. Third down and 5. Under center, the whole game has been Tucker for the Mustang 26. Tucker, option left. Tucker will take off with the football. He'll have a first down. And the ball is fumbled but recovered by Palisade as the ball looked like it was rolling out of bounds across the 20 towards the 19. So either way, Palisade has picked up the first down. Tucker was stripped at the last second. It's just a matter where they spot the football. It could be the 18-yard line, which would advance them 8 yards forward, but I think they're going to back it up. Nope, they're not going to back it up at all.
Tucker's walking a little gingerly, but I'm sure he's used to getting hit, and he's going to get back in it.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been his arm. I think he's holding that right arm.
11 carries for 124 yards for Tucker. It's at the 18-yard line with a 10-0 lead. Man in motion is Bruce. Handoff Scherter right up the gut, and he stumbles to the 15. You know how well that line is playing for Palisade? He wasn't even hit. He tackled himself, and he gained 3 yards.
Yeah, he tripped over a lineman's foot as he went through the hole. And then, yeah, their offense is doing what our offense needs to do. They're moving the line of scrimmage downfield 2 yards right at the snap. And ours is giving about a half a yard.
Well, Tucker's a great decision maker. Scherter runs low, and Bruce has got tremendous speed. They've got a bevy of weapons there on offense that they didn't see last week against Erie. Second down and 7 for Palisade at the Mustang 15-yard line. Bruce in motion, handoff, Scherter off the right side. He's across the 15 towards the 10. He got the 9-yard line, a gain of 6, and there's no doubt the Mustangs are getting blown off the line of scrimmage there. On that play, they certainly did. Alex Ortega made the hit, and it's 3rd and short for Palisade.
Yeah, they're making some nice holes there, as Kevin said. They're just blowing the defensive line back, and they're picking up what they need.
Do your linebackers have to cheat at this point a little bit to try to close those gaps?
Well, I think that's what they tried to do on that last drive, and Tucker took it for 80 yards.
Yeah,
or
65,
yards.
yeah. 3rd down and 1 for the Fort Morgan 9-yard line. Cam Tucker, the quarterback, will keep it right up the gut, first down. And he always fakes that handoff first and then makes the decision. Gets to the 5-yard line, a gain of 4. And again, Hocanedo around the football along with Eddie DePriest. But it's 1st and goal for Palisade. 128 yards on 12 carries for senior quarterback Cam Tucker as we approach the 5-minute mark. And Tucker's a junior. Let me make that correction. Tucker only a junior. His running backs, Bruce and Scherter, are seniors. And now we got a whistle with 4:56 to go in the first.
Somebody's bleeding, I think, for Palisade lineman.
And a 10-0 lead here for Palisade. Yep, just a personnel change here. Well, let's see if Cole Scherter is going to get the football here. Scherter right behind Tucker. It will be Tucker off the right side, driving towards the goal line, and he's just shy of the end zone, down at the 4-yard line. Initial penetration over there by Devin Gherkin. But again, it takes more than one Mustang to bring him down.
Yeah, that's for sure.
2nd and goal for the 1.
And we knew coming in that Palisade was a quality team. You know, they're 9-1. Their one loss coming to a playoff team in Montrose, a 4A team that's 9-1. That's their only loss. And they only lost 17-21.
Quarterback sneak, and I don't know if he got in yet. Barely across the goal line was Cam Tucker, signaled by the far official. And it's a touchdown for Tucker, his second of the game on the 1-yard sneak. And Palisade now leads 16-0 with 4:08 to go in the second quarter.
He's a handful, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Mustang defensive line thought they had held him, but there's no instant replay in this.
No.
In high school football, so.
And I wouldn't pretend to say that I saw
No.
one way or the other,
No.
because there's a big scrum going on. And
Well, Fort Morgan has a chance to get back in the game if they can establish something on offense here late in the second quarter, and then when they receive the second half kickoff. Sargent to attempt the extra point, perfect snap, and that kick is good. Inside the left upright. 4:08 to go, second quarter. It's Palisade 17, Fort Morgan nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Brian, let's recap the drive there because it ended with a 1-yard touchdown run by Tucker, but again, they've taken advantage of a great offensive line play there.
Right, and it came after an interception. Only had to go 31 yards. He did it in 8 plays, just a little over 4 minutes. And Tucker takes it in from 1 yard out. PAT good, makes it 17-0 Palisade.
Now the Mustangs need a huge return if they can even get one. Ortega and Hamer are back at the 2-yard line. There's the boot by Sargent. Man, what a leg this kid has. That one is about 7 yards deep. Second week in a row that we've seen a kicker on the other side that has a thunderfoot.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's a great weapon to have.
Well, you cannot give the ball back to Palisade before halftime, even if you don't score. Let's have 2 possessions in a row, and then you can establish some momentum. 24-yard field goal by Sargent, touchdown runs of 65 and 1 by Tucker.
at minimum, they have to use up these 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And hopefully score towards the end of it.
1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 20-yard line. Out of the pistol is Isaac Linker. Linker hands it off to Hamer, running to his left, and he's got nothing. He's tackled for a 1-yard loss and bombarded by Palisade defenders, including Brandon Goff, a junior at 6'1", 203, 2nd down and 11 to go. And I think Hamer's just got to take it right up the gut at some point because it looks like he's stutter-stepping a little bit, and the hole's not there. It was there for the first carry, but not since then.
Yeah.
And we haven't even tried to run to the outside at all, other than the one that he bounced out. So
well, they got a lot of speed in that area too. Palisade takes their first time out. 3:41 to go, second quarter. Yeah, they're thinking we want another possession before halftime because they know what everybody else knows is that Fort Morgan receives a second half kickoff, so they figure, hey, let's get one back here before the break.
Right. Beautiful day down here. It's a little cool and a little bit of a breeze, but the sun's shining. It's a beautiful day for football.
That's for sure.
Just get Fort Morgan to start hitting a little bit.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing that's beautiful so far besides the Cobb salad that Kevin had and the roast beef that Brian had and whatever I had on ciabatta. It was some turkey. 2nd down and 11 to go for Fort Morgan at their own 19, trailing 17-0, 3:41 to go. In the second quarter, Hamer is the lone setback. 2 receivers out to the right. Linker with a hand clap, has the football, spins, back to throw, looks to set up a screen to his left, caught by Hamer at the 20, and then Hamer is going to be tackled at the 22, maybe the 23. That was read beautifully by Palisade. They had 2 defenders out there. It will be a gain, but a short gain, and a 3rd down and about 8 to go, a gain of 3 for Fort Morgan.
Then he went out of bounds and stopped the clock, which they, in a way, really don't want.
Right.
Well, I think the play call was excellent, but Palisade is super disciplined. 3rd down and 8 to go from the 22. Boy, you need a 1st down desperately. You have not had one since the opening possession. Since then, a 3-and-out, an interception, and now a 3rd and 8. at the 22. Linker for the pistol. Hamer to his left. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Here's the pass out to the right, caught by Ortega at the 26. He's going nowhere. Sebastian Campbell throws him down at the 27. Forward progress rule before he was driven back. A 5-yard gain, 4th down and 3. And I know you're down 17-0, but you got to punt in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Palisade. Yeah, they got it on their last possession at the 31 and took it in, and it took them 8 plays, but
well, I don't think Fort Morgan is going to fake it here. That would be quite the play to pull off on 4th down and 3 from the 27. Snap to Ortega. He gets it off. A gorgeous line drive punt at the 38, caught by Bruce at the 40. Bruce back to the middle, and he's tackled at the 44 by Nick Norris. But again, very good field position, a return of 6. And the punt by Frankie Ortega was 35 yards, but Palisade with 2:46 to go doesn't even have to throw the football here. They still have 2 timeouts.
Yep. Yeah, if they'll keep it on the ground, I mean, that's what they've been doing, and then they try to get tricky and end up throwing an interception. But
Colorado Plains Medical Center has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team trained in the latest procedures. Colorado Plains Medical Center for the 44. Tucker again keeps it himself right up the gut across the 50 to the 48. It's a gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 to go. Alex Ortega made the tackle, but again, 8 yards, way too many for Fort Morgan to give up on any play, let alone a 1st down play, as Tucker is now up to 140 yards on 14 carries.
Fort Morgan's defensive front just looks like they're worn out. They're just standing there gassed, and Palisade's running up to the line ready to go.
2nd down and 2 yards to go for the Mustang 48. Tucker, option right, will pitch it out to Bruce, and Bruce is tackled for a gain of about 1 yard. That's great discipline over there along the far sideline by Carner Fajardo.
Gave him the 1st down.
Yeah, that's a bad spot. I mean, I thought it was a gain of 1, not 2. I mean, his knee was down at the 47.
Then down on the pile as Fajardo's getting off the receiver, the guy gave him a little bit of a kick. But the officials didn't see it, so I guess it didn't happen.
From the 46-yard line, clock is running, 2:06 to go, 2nd quarter. Will Tucker throw the ball? Hands it off to Schurter, right up the middle, across the 40 to the 39. It's a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3 to go. Isaac Linker made the tackle. Cole Schurter with his 8th carry of the game for 35 yards. And they're mixing it up so nicely. Campbell, Schurter, Bruce, Tucker, of course, the primary ball carrier. 2nd down and 3 from the 39. Tucker this time again keeps it himself behind his left tackle. Across the 35, a 1st down, grabbed by Linker, but he carries him for additional yardage to the 30-yard line. And that's another 1st down for Palisade. That's a gain of 9 for Cam Tucker as the ball is just inside the Mustang 30. We'll give him the 29 there. Just shy of the 29. Bruce in motion, handoff, Schurter up the gut, and he was grabbed immediately by Case Gibbons and then spun to the 28. They give him an extra yard to the 27. Timeout is called by Palisade. What are they doing with these spots? I mean, you're down, you're down.
Right.
It's not where you finish necessarily once your knee hits.
Right.
Because let me tell you, Palisade is doing something very intelligently. They're being tackled and they're still moving their bodies forward.
Right.
And the officials are biting and they're giving them that extra quarter yard, half yard. It certainly makes a difference to Fort Morgan, Brian.
That's for sure, especially when it comes down to, if it's short of 2nd and 1 or 3rd and 1 or 3rd and half a yard, they're even 4th down. They go for it. So.
All the footballs at the Fort Morgan 27, 2nd down and 8 to go for Palisade. This is a 1-16 matchup, and many thought that the town discrepancy was not 1-16, but so far, with the way Palisade is executing, they're worthy of this number 1 seed.
Absolutely. They're for real, and Fort Morgan has not played well, and they have, so you have to give them the credit so far.
From the 27-yard line. But now I can see why Palisade is this good. And here's Tucker. There was a handoff. He bobbled the ball, and he gets it off to Schurter. across the 25 to the 23 on the quick hitter. Ortega made the tackle. Alex Ortega, he's at the bottom of the pile. And the gain is going to be to the 22. I still think that's an extra yard. They gave him gain of 5. Third down and a couple from the 22. And here is Tucker keeping it up the left side. First down, crossing the 20, and then driven back. And then the whistle blows. He never went down, but he got to the 18, a gain of 4 for Cam Tucker. 42.2 seconds to go. Maybe Fort Morgan can survive this, but they do have one timeout. Palisade does not have to throw the football yet.
Yeah, he does great on that fake handoff. I thought he'd actually hand it off to the kid and pulled it back out. He put it in pretty deep and then pulled it back out of his gut.
From the 18-yard line of Fort Morgan, Tucker will hand it off on the counter to Bruce, following a blocker to the 15, back to the middle to the 10. He's to the 5. He carries Jacob Ortega, and he tackles him at the 1 for a gain of 17. The clock stops for a first down with 25.4 seconds to go. And the Mustangs misread that play defensively, but they haven't run really any counters in this game.
Right, that was a good time to call that one.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, they're going to score a touchdown at the very end of the quarter. I mean, they're going to eat up time here and not give Fort Morgan the ball. Clock is running, 14 seconds to go, up to the line of scrimmage. First and goal for the 1 quarterback sneak. That's a touchdown for Cam Tucker, his second 1-yard sneak of the game. That comes with 9.2 seconds to go in the opening half, and Palisade now leads by a score of 23-0. That was his 18th carry, and the kick by Sargent is up, and that's good. We'll keep it right here with 9.2 seconds remaining. And look at the totals right now for this quarterback. 18 carries for 168 yards, and the only reason it's as low as 168 is because 2 of those are 1-yard sneaks.
Right.
You're right.
Yep.
If not, he'd be close to 200 yards at this point.
Yep. He's their main runner, but he's got a lot of good support behind him there and those other 3 that have been running it today.
I mean, I think you can say Fort Morgan's not playing well, but I think you look at the other side of the coin here, Palisade's just the better team.
Yeah, they are, and Fort Morgan's going to have to put up a heroic effort this second half to come back and stop them offensively as well as get something going on their own offense.
Well, and to score with 9 seconds to go in the second quarter, and you got a kicker that can boot it out of the end zone, I mean, it's almost like you have no chance. So Sargent will run up to the football, and he will boot this thing way out of the end zone. That is 9 yards deeper, not out of the end zone, but across the goal line.
Right.
And if you're Fort Morgan, just take a knee here. Yeah. Don't even run the ball. Don't even try to run it too hard and perhaps fumble it. But then again, fumbles have not been an issue for Fort Morgan.
Right.
But it looks like, yeah, Hamer's in there, and well, I guess they'll give it to him if they don't just take a knee, because Linker's going to go into the pistol formation from the 20. Fort Morgan has all their timeouts, but not enough time. Hand off to Hamer across the left side, across the 25 to the 30. Has a first down, breaks a tackle, and then he's driven back at the 34-yard line. That's a nice form tackle with 1.8 seconds to go. Does Fort Morgan take a timeout here? And I think they took a timeout. Let's see. Yeah, if they want it, let's see. Yeah, I think they took a timeout. Yeah. That's a smart timeout. I mean, you might as well.
Can't take them with you.
I was not going to steal your line.
So, we talked a lot about press stunts and how Fort Morgan hasn't, has won all these playoff games. When's the last time that you can remember Fort Morgan being down by 24 points in any game, let alone in the first half?
Well, probably against Brush. In the 2014 season when Brush won the state championship, that was a 28-0 game at halftime in Brush, and Brush won that one 35-3. So I think that's the answer to that question, and I might have just pulled that out of my whatever hat I don't have on. But I'm pretty sure that was probably the most recent game that Fort Morgan was down by as many as 24, and that'd be 28 points 4 years ago.
Right, because this year the 2 games that Fort Morgan lost, they lost by 8 and by 3. And going back the previous 2 seasons, I don't think so either.
No. From the 34, Linker from the pistol is back to throw. Out to his right, caught by Ortega at the 35. Stutter steps and is spun down at the 38. That's the end of the opening half. With the score, Palisade 24, Fort Morgan nothing. You are listening to the opening round of the Class 3A football playoffs on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustang Halftime Show is brought to you by B&B Appliance. They can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you. B&B Appliance on Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. Along with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, I'm John Beltran with Palisade leading this opening round 3A playoff game 24-0. They took the opening possession, went 66 yards, and a 24-yard field goal by Ben Sargent gave them a 3-0 lead. And Fort Morgan did pick up 2 first downs in their first possession, a pass to Ortega and a 15-yard run by J.P. Hamer, but then they stymied after that. And then Palisade took it down the field, 2 plays, 79 yards, a 65-yard run by Tucker to make it 10-0. And before that, it looked like Fort Morgan had some momentum with Isaac Linker intercepting a pass, but it did not really develop into anything. And then after that, in fact, Palisade scored 21 of their 24 points in the second quarter. They had favorable field position, and Cam Tucker, off the interception thrown by Linker, they only had to go just over 30 yards, a 1-yard sneak to make it 17-0. And then Palisade used 2 of their timeouts, started at their own 44-yard line, went 56 yards down the field, did not have to throw a pass, and that was a key. And they were able to score a 1-yard sneak by Tucker, his 3rd touchdown of the game. It came with 9.2 seconds to go. And here we are at halftime with Fort Morgan trailing 24-0 in this opening round 3A playoff game. And Kevin, at this point, you just got to sell out and let loose because you're way down to a team that is obviously, at least through the first 24 minutes, is a superior football team to what you have.
Absolutely. Palisade is exactly what I guess the guys who chose the brackets knew, and they're number 1 seed. They're very good. They're very strong up front offensively, and then they have 3 or 4 really good running backs behind that offensive line. Defensively, they're able to just keep Fort Morgan from getting any movement up the line, and they're beating us on all phases of the game. So second half, when they come out, the coaches have a tough job of reestablishing that confidence in the Fort Morgan team and getting them to believe in themselves, because towards the end, you could tell from the way they were playing that they didn't really believe that they could stop them. It was, I guess sell out. When you start selling out, that's when they start running really big plays, because you do a run blitz or something and you blitz the wrong hole and he doesn't have anyone to stop him and he goes a long ways. But you really don't have any other choice yet. You have to get some points on the board and you have to come up with some defensive stops.
Brian, I think one of your elements in the nickel package was time of possession. Well, we had a 17-second drive by Palisade that resulted in a touchdown. So, because we thought that would be key for Palisade, with the way they run the offense. And yet it almost doesn't matter for them how long they have the ball in any possession.
No, because they'll go for it. Fourth down. They went for it into their field,
right,
and went for it on 4th and 1 and made it with no problem. So they'll go for it for 4th down anywhere, and they just march up and down the field as they please right now against Fort Morgan. So one of the things we talked about was control the run game. Well, they haven't done that yet against them at all. They seem to be running the ball just about any way they want to. And force a turnover. Each got a turnover. Offensively, I wanted to continue doing what they're doing. Well, they're not. Palisade is putting a stop to that pretty much. Penalties, it's been basically penalty free. They had that block in the back there on that punt. But other than that, not many penalties. Time management, and it's just Morgan. Well, Morgan's time management has not been good because they they go 3 and out right away. They're not picking up those first downs and keeping the ball away from Palisade.
Right, their 3rd first down didn't matter because it was right before halftime on Hamer's 14-yard run, so you could almost minus that one out. All right, we're at the break with the score. Palisade 24, Fort Morgan nothing. The last time they met in the playoffs was 3 years ago. We'll have a feature on that during the second half of our halftime show, brought to you by B&B Appliance on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's begin the second half from Ralph Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs trail 24-0 to Palisade in this opening round Class 3A playoff game. If you're listening live, Kevin Schaefer will have the Colorado Prep scoreboard show with all the scores from 3:30 to 5. And that'll be followed by Mustang replay. Hopefully, the Mustangs will not replay what they did in the first half. They had some early momentum with the 2 first downs after holding Palisade to a field goal. But Palisade did what they've done all season, and it was a very, very quick first half. I mean, it got over with quickly, and Fort Morgan at this point, you think they want to extend the game, and Palisade wants to shorten it. I think it's a pretty easy strategy there for the Bulldogs.
And it's pretty hard to extend the game when you got a team that's just going to run it every single play and keep that clock running. But I was just thinking Palisade had 5 drives. The only one we stopped them on was the interception. We held them to a field goal on one, and other than that, they just, went straight down the field and scored. So Fort Morgan's going to have to do something different.
Well, one, they got to score, and number 2, they should onside kick it. I mean, you really should.
Yep.
You're not going to beat them straight up unless you make defensive adjustments that can actually stop that offense.
Right.
And Ben Sargent will kick it off, and they're not going to get a return from him. Except J.P. Hamer did have one return that went to the 27-yard line after their field goal, but everything else was booted into the end zone. And I don't know if wind is a factor, but he's been booting it in this direction, 6 or 7 yards deep. No, this one is line drived on 3 hops, and Hamer's got it at the 9-yard line to the 20. Back to the middle, breaks a tackle at the 25, then is piled under at the 30. And here come the Mustangs, and quarterback Isaac Linker to the field at their own 30-yard line. One is to pick up a first down and then see if they can diversify the offense a bit. On that right hash mark. And yes, this game is definitely being won at the line of scrimmage by Palisade. That's why if Linker throws, he has to get rid of it quickly. On first down, handoff to Linker. Check that to Hamer, running left side from Linker, breaks a tackle, and then is driven down at the 35. A gain of 5. I'll tell you what, that's that same Palisade defensive back who makes great form tackles. Carlos Reyes, a senior, just driving him back. He hits you and then continues going. I mean, that's a great form tackle. It's a gain of 5, though, by Hamer. Second down and 5 yards to go for Fort Morgan. That's a good start here to begin the third quarter. Lining up on that left hash mark from the pistol. Linker will keep it himself, following a blocker, swinging it towards the sideline, and then tackled from behind. Boy, that's a hard hit, and going high at the 40-yard line. That'll be a personal foul. Well, it's actually, I don't know if they call it a personal foul, but he went high. That's almost a dirty play there by Jason Bruce, as Linker was tackled for a gain of 5 at the 40. Mustangs will have it at the 45-yard line. There's no need for that. He went very high on him. Yep, it was targeting. That's what it is. That was targeting.
Now, in college, he'd be thrown out.
Yeah, well, you know what? He should be taken out of this game right now. I mean, he was being tackled. There was no reason to do that. Linker was already going down.
Yeah, it's a wonder he's stepping back up. He didn't get his bell rung with that.
Yeah. I mean, that is as dirty a play as I've seen. So 15-yarder on that targeting penalty. And 2 officials threw the flag, so you know that was definitely illegal. First and 10 for the Mustangs at the Palisade 45-yard line. So Fort Morgan has moved the ball effectively over the first minute here in the third quarter. From the pistol, Sandoval's in motion to the left. Now resets, handoff to Hamer. Swinging it back towards the middle, across the 45. And he drives to the 41. He should be at the 41. See, his knee was down at the 42. But see, if that was Palisade running the football, they've been giving him that extra yard. That's what I don't like. I mean, I don't like to target officials here, but Palisade has done the same thing, and Hamer should be at the 42 where his knee was down, but they've been giving Palisade that extra yard, so it's 2nd down and 7 to go for Fort Morgan at the Palisade 42. Ortega's the lone receiver to the right. Down 24-0. Isaac Linker is back to throw. Plenty of protection to his right. Caught underneath by Sandoval. And then he stumbles across the 40 towards the first down marker. And he is down at the 35. It's a gain of 7. Ernie ran a nice underneath pattern. And it's either going to be 3rd and inches or first down at the 35.
They're giving him the first down.
Yep. Fort Morgan's got a little motivation or a little momentum here.
Mustang crowd getting into it for the 35-yard line now. Why have they stopped the clock? A flag is thrown. Hold on. The back official called time. Oh, they called an offside first against Palisade. There you go. Okay, that's why. So even before Fort Morgan jumped on the right side of their line, Palisade was lined up offsides. So it's 1st and 5 for the Mustangs at the 30. And Palisade was very disciplined in the first half, but not now.
Right.
They've committed 2 penalties for 20 yards on defense. Mustangs looking for their first score of the game from the pistol formation. Linker turns, hands it off to Hamer, running along the right sideline across the 30. Then he's driven out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Tackled by Cam Tucker, the junior free safety, also this quarterback for Palisade. 2nd down and 8 to go for Fort Morgan.
Getting back to what they're wanting to do, they should be doing is running the ball, but hopefully they have enough time to down 24-0.
9 carries for 41 yards for J.P. Hamer, playing in his last game unless the Mustangs can mount a serious rally. From the 28-yard line, lone receiver to the left. Linker fakes, takes it himself to the 25, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and he's carrying Cam Tucker, and he's down with his left elbow at the 20-yard line, a gain of 8. It's another Fort Morgan Mustang first down, and the Mustangs are imposing their will on this Palisade defense to be in the second half.
This is a lot like that first drive of the first half, and until we had that one play where Hamer got stopped for no gain, and we had a 2nd and 10, that Fort Morgan got out of its game plan.
And if Fort Morgan scores, do you go for 2? Because you're down 4 scores. Well, 3 if you go for 2 on every possession. But first things first, you got to get into the end zone. On 1st down and 10 for the Mustangs at the Palisade 20. 9.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Palisade up 24-0. Linker receives the football, hands it off to Hamer. A hole up the middle, but then he's taken down at the 17. It closed quickly. The middle of that defensive line there to make the play for Palisade. And also in on the hit was Brandon Goff, a 6'1", 203-pound junior. Only 2 yards now as they backtrack it to the 18. 2nd down and 8 to go for Fort Morgan. But they are taking up time on this drive. At the 18, Linker again to himself, and he spins across the 15, still on his feet, and he drives to the 9. Linker behind his right guard, then spun inside the 15 and just kept going, running low. And it's a gain of 9 for Isaac Linker. 1st and goal, Fort Morgan. And they're right up to the line of scrimmage. Linker quickly, he'll take it himself again, running right side, swings it to the outside, to the 6-yard line, and he's tackled from behind at the 4. And let's see, is there a flag down? Because the clock is stopped.
Yeah, this ref on this side waved his hand to stop the clock. I don't know
why is the clock stopped at the gain of 5? Now they restarted. I don't understand that. He must have gotten confused thinking that was a first down, but it's 2nd and goal at the 4. I like the pacing by Fort Morgan right up to the line of scrimmage and running the play. And now why is the clock stopped? Oh, there might be an equipment issue there with Gherkin.
Yep.
He's going to come out of the game, either that or some blood. They need a new offensive lineman on 2nd and goal for the 4, 8:14 to go, 3rd quarter. Yeah, we don't have that number. Or do you have it?
Ryan Johnson, 59.
Yep, a junior. He's the left guard. 2nd down and goal for the 4, in for Gherkin. Hamer the lone setback. Ortega the receiver to the right. Ortega's in motion to the left. Linker is going to hand it off to Hamer, right side, and he is piled under at the 1. It looked like he had an easy touchdown, but 3 Bulldogs came in and corralled him, including Cam Tucker and Joseph Alejo. It's a gain of 3. 3rd and goal at the 1. 11th carry by Hamer for 46 yards. The Mustangs looking to score for the first time in the game, down 24-0. 3rd and goal. Linker, pistol formation. Linker himself, right side. He drives. He's not going to get in. He is short. And again, we saw this at Roosevelt in rainy conditions. He went under center to pick up a first down, but that was near the middle of the field.
And they have to go at this point. I don't think they can settle for a field goal.
No. I mean, they're not at the 1. They're way inside the 1. The nose of the football is inches shy of the goal line. And now Linker's going to call a timeout. And that might be a good thing because Linker's also limping towards the sideline with 7:09 to go, 3rd quarter. Palisade leads in this opening round 3A playoff game 24-0, but Fort Morgan has traveled 79 3/4 or 4/5 yards, and they are that close to the end zone. They've chewed up almost 5 minutes. And if you don't score here, can you imagine what Palisade can do with 99-plus yards? They can just run, and by the time the 3rd quarter is over, they either will still have possession or they will have scored. So Fort Morgan's got to get into the end zone right now.
Well, Fort Morgan's going to have to stop them on defense if they're going to win this game. So you're right. If Palisade takes over here and starts running, we're going to have to try and, find a way to stop them.
Bank of Colorado is the only bank dedicated to help you make the most of living in Colorado. They're just not a bank in Colorado. They're Bank of Colorado, proud supporter of local sports and academics. And crystal clear ice, good for any drink at any time of the year. AC Ice. At any local grocery or convenience store near you in Northeast Colorado, AC Ice. 4th and goal, well inside the 1. Linker's under center. Linker sneaks. Linker scores. He should be in. Yep. Yes. Linker behind his right guard scores, and the Mustangs are on the board for the first time in the game. It's Palisade 24, Fort Morgan 6. Jose Jimenez is in there to attempt the extra point. I mean, to say that the Mustangs needed that badly is an understatement. Off the hold of Linker. Let's see if he will boot the football. There was movement there. There was movement.
Yeah, offsides on...
Well, I'm telling you what, maybe you think about going for 2. You go for 2 and you make it. Then you're only down by 2 scores. And that is offsides against Palisade. I don't know if Fort Morgan's thinking about that. But that's a consideration. I would think it is. I mean, you could certainly score with the football now at about the 1. I don't know if Ty Davies is actually thinking about that now. He's pacing up the sideline. And
seemed to be changing his mind here. So
he was asking whether he could take it on the kickoff, but that's not a high school rule.
No. It's just going to be a shorter extra point. It's going to be a real short extra point. And now we have another stoppage in play. That's for an equipment issue on the Palisade side.
Devin Gherkin back in the game. He was in the game on that touchdown push.
This will be an 18-yard extra point to be attempted by Jimenez. And that's good. 7:06 to go, 3rd quarter in the opening round of the Class 3A football playoffs. Palisade 24, Fort Morgan 7 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Brian, the Mustangs just went 80 yards, but it took quite a few plays to get into the end zone.
Yeah, it took them 12 plays, almost half the quarter. And they're going to have to stop Palisade here to get the ball back if they're going to take that long to score touchdowns.
4 minutes and 54 seconds on the drive. 1 yard run by Isaac Linker, and the Mustangs are on the board, trailing 24-7. Do they kick it down the field here with Jimenez? The uphill booter high but very short. Fielded by Bruce at the 11. Up the middle to the 15. Back to his left to the 25. Tries to break out of a tackle. Spun down at the 29-yard line by Caden Edson. And now, I think if you're Fort Morgan, you tackle the football as well. If you're just tackling the player, you got to tackle the player and the football. Because the one interception that Palisade threw was a ridiculously bad play call on a 2nd and 1.
Yep. Right.
I mean, they were just trying to fool Morgan. Instead, they fooled themselves. From the 29, the quarterback Cam Tucker. Option right will keep it himself. Running it to the right side, and he's driven back at the 32 for a gain of 3. Eddie DePriest along with Jacob Ortega. And there was one other Mustang, Alex Atwood, make the hit. 2nd down and 7 to go. It looked like Tucker did nothing there, and he still gained 3 yards.
Right. That's because the line of scrimmage is moving as soon as he snaps the ball. That's where Fort Morgan's defensive line has to get down lower and hold that spot.
19 carries for 171 yards. Tucker will keep it himself. He'll pitch it left along the sideline and then knocked out of bounds across the 35 is Sebastian Campbell, close to a 1st down. He's got the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 4. Well, you got a shot here. 3rd down and 3 to go for Palisade.
After Fort Morgan scored, I don't know whether Palisade would go for it on a 4th and 3.
They'll go for it if it's 4th and 1, but not a 4th and 2 or 3. 3rd and 3 at their own 36-yard line. Tucker keeps it himself, back to the middle, and he's going to be right at the stick. It looks like he's a tad maybe short. He stretched the football out at the 38. Linker grabbed him from behind. It's going to be 4th and about, 2 feet to go. It's a gain of 2 for Tucker. Oh, you got to go for it here if you're Palisade, because Fort Morgan can't stop him even on a 4th and short. Just past the 38. They got to get to the 39, so let's say half a yard. 4th down for Palisade. 5:55 to go, 3rd quarter. Palisade leads Fort Morgan 24-7. This might be a simple sneak here by Tucker. On 4th down, the Mustang fans getting involved in the game. Tucker keeps it himself. 1st down, and he's nearly into the clear, breaks a tackle, and then he's grabbed and taken down by Moya at the 44. Linker sold out. I thought he was going to get him, but couldn't make the play, and it's a gain of close to 6 there for Cam Tucker. That was Fort Morgan's chance really to do some damage.
Yeah, they've got to either get a turnover or they've got to stop him here on this next set of downs.
Yeah, they're getting great play from their left and their right guard because Tucker just utilizes that seam from their own 44. Tucker this time is going to hand it off on the left side and cross the 45 to the 47. That's the fullback. That's a new player in there, in fact. That's Julio Rodriguez on the carry for a gain of 3.
Yeah, he's had 35 carries this year for 168 yards. So,
but his first today.
Yep.
But again, just chewing up clock. Under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. 2nd down and 7 to go for Palisade at their own 47. No reason to throw the football here. And this will be Tucker on the option right. Pitches it to Bruce, taking it to the outside. Breaks a tackle to 45. 1st down along the sideline. He spins off a Mustang across the 35 to the 33. Man, this guy has got speed for days. And that's a gain of close to 20 and a 1st down for Palisade. And once you get it to Bruce, there's no stopping him, even though Mustangs had contain out there.
Right, he's fast, but he's also shifty, and he can stop quickly and let the defender run by him as they go for the tackle.
Official gain is 21 there for Jason Bruce, just shy of the 32-yard line. And let's face it, Fort Morgan's had trouble throughout the year stopping running games. They really have.
Yep.
That's why they need a turnover. From the 32, this will be Tucker handing it off to Rodriguez, and that time the Mustangs do a great job running it left side. Alex Ortega made the hit. Nick Norris with penetration as well, but only a gain of a yard there by Julio Rodriguez. 2nd down and a short 9 to go.
Fort Morgan rotating pretty liberally on defense, trying to get fresh guys out there because it's hard work stopping this Palisade offensive line.
Yeah, you got to be in great shape.
Yeah.
And now we have a stoppage with the ball at the 31-yard line. We've had either equipment or blood issues today because another Bulldog is off the field.
It's blood again, like something on his forearm. It looked like when he's going across there, he was showing him.
Just inside the Mustang 31, 24-7 Palisade with 4 minutes to go in the third. Clock is running. Cam Tucker, the quarterback, will hand it off to Rodriguez, running it right up the gut across the 30 to the 27. And that football is going to be backtracked maybe to the 28. Yeah, well, they finally gave him a good spot, the correct spot, because his knee was down. So a gain of 3. Here's the shot for Fort Morgan again. Just inside the 28. Third down and about 6 to go. Tucker on the pitch left of Bruce, swinging it towards the outside. A first down to the 10, to the 5. It's a touchdown, but a flag is down, and that's Sebastian Campbell. The flag is down. That one's coming back.
Yep.
That one is coming back.
I think Hamer was held out on this outer edge.
Yeah, I mean, that flag was thrown fairly early once Campbell received the pitch. That's going to nullify a 28-yarder holding Palisade. And Fort Morgan needed that in the worst way. But Campbell's another guy. He looks like the same as Bruce. You get it to him, and they are really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, he got that outside corner, but he got the hold called, but when he was down the sideline, he was gone.
Is that the second mistake Palisades made on offense, the interception and the turnover? Because other than that, it's been flawless.
Yep. Right.
But you know what? I still don't think they're going to throw the football.
No.
Because when they've thrown the ball in this game, they're 0 for 2 with an interception.
Right.
So now you're looking at third down and 16 to go at the Mustang 39. Tucker on the counter to Bruce to the 35. He's got a lot of speed to the outside to the 25. First down to the 20. Moya tackles him along the sideline at the 16. It's a late hit, I believe. It's a gain of 23 for Jason Bruce. That's the same counter that worked in the second quarter. And now Palisade will probably get closer to the end zone because I think that might have been against Morgan at the end of the play. We'll see what the flag is all about. But it's a gain of 23.
Yeah, it looked like Moya maybe pushed him out of bounds, then a couple other Fort Morgan players, and maybe one of them were pushed because there were some blockers down there too. But whatever.
Yeah. And that's a good call.
Yep.
That's a good call. But, you know, nobody was there on the counter. That's that counter running right. And that misdirection completely fooled Fort Morgan on a 3rd and 16.
Yep.
And as you talked about, Fort Morgan on defense has to pretty much sell out, and they have to make that effort to go for the obvious. And then when you do a counter like that,
but you don't have to sell out on a 3rd and 16. You just
you got a good point there.
You know, but now they do because it's 1st and goal at the 8. Tucker on the pitch left, cutting it back to the middle and down at the 9. Boy, that's a great play over there by the Mustangs as the tackle was made on Sebastian Campbell. That's a heck of a play by Brian Paxton for a loss back to the 10. 2nd down and goal at the 10. And hold them to a field goal, and you still got a shot.
Oh, yes.
You got to hold them to a field goal. You have to win this quarter. But the quarter's almost coming to an end. There's only 2:40 to go in the quarter, and you're trailing 24-7. Rodriguez, the fullback, is the lone setback. Man in motion. Tucker, option, will take it himself to the 2, touchdown. He ran around his left tackle. No Mustang was out there, and Tucker scores his 4th touchdown of the game. It comes from 10 yards away, and that's the backbreaker. Palisade leads 30-7. On his 22nd carry of the game, Tucker now with 189 yards. You could see that coming from the snap of the football.
And the defining play of that drive was that 3rd and 20 when they ran the counter for
23 yards.
23, and then half the distance to the goal on that one.
And the kick by Sargent is good. There are 14 minutes and 30 seconds left in Fort Morgan's season the way it's going now. 2.5 to go in the third quarter. Fort Morgan trails Palisade 31-7 on Morgan County's B106, the TuneIn app, and B106.com. The Mustangs score a touchdown, but so does Palisade in the quarter. 2.5 to go. And Palisade with a 31-7 lead. And now if you're Fort Morgan and you score, you got to go for 2. That's number 1. And then you got to onside kick it.
Right.
I mean, if it's the Dumb and Dumber chance you've got, that's the only chance. So you're saying there's a chance. That's what you got to do.
You bet.
Ben Sargent with a boot towards the sideline. This one will go out of bounds at the 1. That'll set up Fort Morgan at the 35. They get a little break there. They advance 15 yards in field position.
I'm not sure why they're so worried about Hamer after they've been able to kick to the back of the end zone before, that he's not just booting it out of there. He squibbed one last time, and then this one kind of similar.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not. The whole first half he was driving clear out of the end zone. So,
by the way, getting back to your earlier question, I think Meade, they had a 28-7 lead at halftime last year against Fort Morgan, but it wasn't as big as Palisades today.
Right.
So Fort Morgan will have it at the 35. And now everything is 4-down territory.
Right.
Because there's no next week if you don't win this game. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 35. Isaac Linker has a 1-yard scoring run in the quarter. Linker's been pretty effective running the football. Well, limited amount of carries. He has 31 yards, 30 on 8. Linker, play action, looks to throw. Heaves it deep up the right sideline. That's going to go out of bounds. Nope, Ortega has it. But does he stay in bounds? Oh, Ortega's out of bounds. Yeah, he was out of bounds. He went up against 2 defenders, but his right foot was out of bounds at the 25. I think that's a good call. I thought the ball was going to fly out of bounds to begin with.
And it was not a good decision to throw that ball. He was covered underneath and over, and he was not open.
Yeah, did come down with it, though.
Yeah, he made an incredible catch with 2 defenders there, but the ball was thrown so close to the sideline, and I think that's a good call. I think he was out of bounds when he caught it. Barely.
Just barely, right.
2nd down and 10 to go. I know Mustang fans are thinking differently, but everything's been thrown underneath. Linker has completions of 10, -2, 3, 5, 4, and 7. Nothing down the field, and he tried it there. That would have gone for a gain of 40 yards, but it's 2nd down and 10 to go from the 35. And Isaac Linker looks to his right, throws it out there, intercepted at the 36-yard line. That's Alejo inside the 25 to the 23, a return of 13 yards. And Linker did not see Joseph Alejo, who was sitting underneath in that zone, and was able to pick it off well before it got to the receiver.
Yeah, I didn't see him either when he let go of it. So
he was out at that outside linebacker, and instead of rushing the pass, he just dropped back into that flat and read that perfectly.
Well, it's a tough outing now for Linker. He's had a great senior season, but 6 out of 10 for 27 yards and 2 interceptions. Normally his percentage is worse completing, but he doesn't make the mistakes, and he goes for big plays, but not in this game. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line for Palisade. Tucker on the misdirection to Bruce, back up the middle to the 20, and then he spins around Linker, and Linker's able to make the tackle, but not before Bruce gets to the 17-yard line for a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4 to go for Palisade, and Jason Bruce is having a tremendous game. Even with his limited number of carries, he has 100 yards. Well, they're going to mark it at the 18, 99 yards on 10 carries.
They've got a number of weapons in that backfield that they use, and they use them all.
2nd down and 5 for Palisade. Tucker on the option left will opt to keep it himself, utilize the sideline, and he runs into Connor Fajardo. 1st down at the 13-yard line. He grabbed him around the ankles. It's a gain of 5 for Cam Tucker. And Tucker now at 23 carries and 194 yards. And he's got 4 touchdowns in the game.
Now we're back kind of the way we were at the end of the first half, with Fort Morgan's defensive line just giving up 3 or 4 yards right off the bat as Palisade continues to fire out hard.
At the 13, Tucker will keep it himself after faking that handoff, and he drives inside the 10 to the 8. I mean, what's amazing is that they run low. You run low, even if you're tackled low. They're driving so well off the ball on that offensive line that a bad play is still 3 or 4 yards. That one went for 5.
Yep.
It's up to 199 yards. Second down and 5 to go from the 8. We've got 42 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Cam Tucker will hand it off to Rodriguez, and he's tackled by Hokanedel, but not before he gets to the 4. They might put him down at the 5-yard line for the gain of 3 by Rodriguez. That's his 4th carry. But now you're looking at 3rd down and 2. Let's see if Palisade waits until the end of the quarter, until after the quarter to get the next play off. They certainly have time to do it right now. But you'd have to walk, well, no, they're going to go right up to the line of scrimmage. Clock is running, 11 seconds to go. 3rd and 2 from the 5. Tucker, option left, keeps it himself, touchdown. Tucker left side, 5th touchdown of the game, and he scored from 5 yards away with 4.5 seconds to go. In the third quarter, Palisade leads by 30. It's 37-7. 204 yards by Tucker, and I wonder if he's going to quarterback the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how old all of their offensive linemen are. If they're all juniors for the most part, and he's a junior, they're going to be awful tough for next year too.
Extra point by Sargent is good, and we won't go anywhere because we have 4.5 seconds to go in the third. And the score is 38-7. I'm going to tell you right now, I did not see this coming. No. Did anybody see this coming by this margin?
I did not.
No.
I mean, we had our doubts before last week's game because Fort Morgan really hadn't played a solid opponent since week 3 against Thomas Jefferson, and they lost that game at home.
Right. Yeah, the people I talk to, a lot of people, as you talk about coming here to broadcast the game, want to know what I think, and I really thought Fort Morgan had a good chance of beating Palisade.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. But now it's clear that Palisade is the superior team.
Yes.
And it's not because they're winning this game by this margin. It's because what they're doing on the offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah, they're playing what we always talk about, Fort Morgan football, of punching you in the mouth and marching straight down and blowing you off the line. That's what they're doing. They're out doing it.
Now Fort Morgan has another play remaining in this quarter. Hamer receives the kickoff at the 3 to the 10, running along the right sideline to the 20. Hamer across the 25. Hamer is still on his feet. But then he continues to drive forward to the 38-yard line, a return of 35. And that's the end of the third quarter. It's a 1-minute break with the score. Palisade 38, Fort Morgan 7. You are listening to the 2018 Colorado High School Football Playoffs on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs have it first down and 10 at their own 38-yard line off the 35-yard kickoff return by J.P. Hamer to begin the fourth quarter. John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde from Ralph Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction from the pistol. Linker, three-step drop, throws to his right, caught underneath by Ortega, and he's got a short gain to the 42 before he's driven back by 2 defenders. Ortega has made his 5th catch of the game, but not for a lot of yardage.
Palisade has taken Tucker out on defense, so at least he's not getting banged up on defense at this point.
Second down, and they'll say 5 to go for the 43. 2 receivers split each side. Hamer the lone setback. On the second play of the fourth quarter, Hamer has the football right up the middle. He's got 2 yards to the 41, and the ball is loose. But was he down? I thought he was down at the 41. Well, he had the football still. They're driving him back because maybe they thought Hamer was not down. The initial hit made by Jaden Spears. 3rd and 3 to go for Fort Morgan. J.P. Hamer with 48 yards on 12 carries. Trips to the left. Linker looking for play instructions. On 3rd and 4 from the 44. Quarterback draw. Linker to his left. Stutter steps. First down to the 50. Still on his feet. Cuts it back to the middle to the 43. Isaac Linker with a solid run. That's a gain of 13 for Isaac Linker and a Mustang first down.
Nice play there. A little shifty running. He gained probably another 10 yards just by faking the defense out. Well,
Fort Morgan's going to play hard to the end. they just don't have the talent to match Palisade because they haven't punted today.
No.
I mean, you'd like to say they do, but not if the other team doesn't punt. Trips to the right, Linker quick drop, and ball's batted down. A little slant towards Ortega, but batted down at the line of scrimmage by 6'2", 225-pound junior Carl Cox.
A lot of juniors on the team.
Yeah, they're going to be tough next year, too.
2nd down and 10 to go for the Mustangs in the Palisade 43. With 10 minutes and 17 seconds to go in Fort Morgan season. Trailing 38-7. Cam Tucker has 5 touchdowns in the game. 2 from 1 yard out. Another from 5 yards. Another from 10 yards. And then to make it 10-0, he scored from 65 yards out. Linker 5-step drop. Deep over the middle. That's going to be intercepted at the 23-yard line. He overthrew Jacob Ortega. And it was picked off by Jason Bruce. Linker's 3rd interception of the game. He has thrown 3 more interceptions than he had coming into the game. He had 1 all season.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the difference between having to pass and passing to augment the run.
But make no mistake about it, Linker could throw 0 interceptions in this game or 5. He's
Yeah.
not the reason they lost this
no.
game.
No, not at
They're
all.
playing a superior football team. That's it. It's at the 21-yard line. And let's see who that new quarterback is. I don't think it's Tucker. No, it is Tucker. Hands it off on the left side, and Sebastian Campbell is loose along the left side. Donovan Moya's got him, but he's got a 1st down across the 30 to the 31, maybe the 32. Well, I think Tucker at this point is just going to hand it off. Why keep it himself?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're keeping him out there.
Well, it's a gain of 11. And now Bruce is over 100 yards. He's got 110. So essentially you got 204 from your quarterback, 110 from Jason Bruce. So that's 314 yards right there. Julio Rodriguez has 10. And then Scherter has 42 himself. And here's the give on the right side and back towards the middle. Let's see if is that Bruce at that time to the 34. Yep. And he's tackled over there by a couple of Mustangs. Alex Atwood around the football. He's now coming out of the game, The gain is 2 for Bruce. 2nd down and 8 to go. With 9:10 to go, 4th quarter, Palisade leads 38-7. Everybody's bunched in tight. Handoff right up the gut, spinning off the right side across the 35 to the 37. That is Julio Rodriguez, the fullback. And now the Mustangs are rotating players defensively. The gain is a couple for Rodriguez. Just past the 36-yard line, 3rd down and 6 to go for Palisade. But you know what? They're also doing a tremendous job of play calling.
Yep. And they're slowing down their approach. They're not hurrying up there quite as fast, using up a little bit more time.
With 8:25 to go in the contest, 3rd and 6 from the 36. Tucker hands it off left side. Campbell across the 40. 1st down, back to the middle. Tackle from behind at the 49-yard line. That is Gherkin making the tackle, but it's a gain of 14 yards to midfield for Sebastian Campbell, and the running attack continues for Palisade. Wow, I mean, what they are doing to Fort Morgan here is scary.
It almost seems like Fort Morgan's playing with only 9 guys out there or something. You know, the way it looks, just I mean, they're dominating that much up front.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, they have over 400 rushing yards. Over 400. 1st and 10 from midfield. Tucker on the handoff right up the gut. That looks like Rodriguez running low to the ground. He's got 5 yards before Alex Ortega, and Devin Gherkin made the hit. 2nd down and 5 to go for Palisade. Yeah, they're well over 400 yards in this game rushing and 0 passing.
And if the weather turns bad as the postseason continues, they'll be able to keep marching on with a running game like this.
On second down, the counter to Campbell running left. Excellent play by Brian Paxton, and that might be Moya as well along the far side. Nope. It's going to be,
penalty
yeah,
flag.
there's a late flag. I think that's actually Ortega, Frankie Ortega, but there's a flag along the far side. It would have been a loss of 2 to 3 yards of the play. And it is against Palisade. But hold against Palisade, not a block in the back.
Oh, I don't know. Second and
well, they're going to it
15 or
nullifies
30.
the carry because they're going to take the penalty.
right, but they had a 3-yard loss on the
Yeah,
play.
actually, they're throwing it from.
Yeah, maybe that's better.
Well,
Second and 18, third and 8.
right, but it doesn't really make a difference because they've got such a huge lead, and they picked up a 3rd and 16 earlier in this half from their own 42-yard line. There's the handoff on the right side, and stutter stepping is Jason Bruce back to the middle, and he's tackled by 3 Mustangs, including Ortega, Linker, and Nick Norris. It's a gain of 2, 4th down, and 16 to go, and I think Palisade's going to punt for the first time in the game.
No, it's only third
It's
down.
only third.
Check that. It was 2nd and 18. Yep, you're right. Now it's 3rd and 16 for the 44.
Linker had come up with the ball, but apparently they had already blown the whistle dead. Or blown the play dead.
On 3rd down and 16 yards to go from their own 44-yard line. Tucker will keep it himself to the 50, up the middle to the 40. He's got a first down. That's the story of the game. Cam Tucker kept the football and broke off a big one all the way to the 34. It's a gain of 22 for Cam Tucker. And Cam Tucker now at 226 yards unofficially.
Yeah, he's their stud, and he's good at it.
On 26 carries.
Great decision maker.
Well, you figured if it was going to be 3rd and long, he was going to play a big factor in the play, and he wasn't going to hand off. 6:10 to go. Handoff on the right side, and diving is Cole Schurter to the 32. That's Devin Gherkin again to make the play. Schurter's 11th carry. I mean, look at the distribution. Tucker with 26 carries, Bruce with 13, Schurter with 11, Campbell with 8, Rodriguez with 6. That's... And they haven't thrown the ball since the interception, early in the second quarter.
Yeah. No need to. Wasn't they need to then either. They were just trying to.
Yep, on 2nd and 8 for the 32. There's the handoff to fullback right up the middle, down to the 29. These are just quick hitters. That was Schurter for a gain of about 3. And they're just waiting for the game to end, I think, on both sides.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was essentially decided when Fort Morgan, after scoring a touchdown, could not stop Palisade. They had a 3rd and long, trailing 24-7. Palisade pulled off a 23-yard run by Bruce on a 3rd and 16, and it's been over since then. 3rd down for the 29 on the misdirection. Campbell crosses the 30-yard line after getting it deep in the backfield, but picks up a yard. Isaac Linker made the hit, and Cale Langford also in on the tackle. It's a gain of 1. Now 4th down for Palisade. 4th and 5 to go from the Mustang 28-yard line. When do they start this drive, Brian?
10 minutes and 11 seconds.
So they've chewed up nearly 6 minutes. We've got 4 minutes and 19 seconds, and once they get up to the line, we'll be past the 4:11 mark. So even if they don't get the first down, they've eaten up half the quarter. 4th and 5 from the 28. Tucker keeps it himself, right side, and he continues to drive his legs. He's going to carry defenders. Can you believe this? He's got another first down to the 21, a gain of 7. I still think it's a risk putting him out there up by 31 points.
Yep.
But you know what? They're riding with him 233 yards on 27 carries. In fact, Fort Morgan might not see the ball again unless Palisade scores here. 1st and 10 at the Mustang 21-yard line. And even 4 minutes to go, the clock is stopped for the movement of the chains, and they haven't restarted it for some reason. There you go. I think if you pick up another first down, you go into victory formation. They're at the 21-yard line. There's Schurter right up the gut to the 19. He's tackled by Eddie DePriest. It's a gain of a couple. Well, second down, about 9 yards to go. So 1 yard there by Schurter. The Mustangs made the long trip, and it's not easy. You got to have everything go in your favor.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but this truly was a 116 matchup.
Yep.
Didn't think so out of the gate, but that's what we're looking at right now from the 20-yard line. There's the counter. That is Campbell, and he's tackled around the ankles at the 15-yard line. Nope, Jason Bruce, excuse me. They run very similarly. They look like the same guy, in fact. Jason Bruce now has 14 carries for 119 yards. Wow. I mean, what they are doing, this is a clinic they're putting on offense. As Brian mentioned, Palisade received the football with 10 minutes and 11 seconds to go. They've got a 3rd and 4 at the Mustang 15, and now there's only 2.5 to go. Tucker on the misdirection to Campbell. First down to the 10. He's inside the 10 to the 7. The gain of 8 for Sebastian Campbell.
And that time, I guess they did stop the clock.
Well, yeah, because if it was under 2 minutes to go, you can go into victory formation. But you really can't go into victory formation now without giving Fort Morgan the football back. Let's see what they decide to do.
Yeah. I'm not the coach. If it was me, I'd go victory formation. Even if I have to give the ball back to Fort Morgan, they're not going to beat us. So
right.
Looks like they are.
Well,
so
that's a great
call,
move.
Coach.
Yeah, that's a good move. That's a very good move.
Yeah.
And that time, Tucker takes a knee. So it's second down and goal from the 8. Well, yeah, actually, because they started the clock, Brian, it was my mistake there. Fort Morgan wouldn't get the ball back anyway. But look at this. You've taken up all 10 minutes and 11 seconds. They're right up to the line, and Tucker's going to wait. It's second down and goal from the 8-yard line. Yeah, and they're going to wait till the play clock gets to 5 before Tucker even starts his count. And they get up to the line of scrimmage so quickly. Yeah, they're not going to. They only have to snap it one more time after this. Tucker takes the knee right there. Well, he'll take a couple of losses. He'll end up with 30 carries, but that's only because he's got these losses at the end of the game. That's about it.
I guess there were a couple plays where we held them for negative yardage. But that first half, there wasn't a single one. And that was kind of the story of the game, that first half, and the way they dominated.
Yeah. Well, Palisade is going to have possession of the football for the final 10 minutes and 11 seconds of the game. And one more knee to be taken here by the quarterback, Cam Tucker, and that one's it. And the Palisade Bulldogs on their home field have won this opening round Class 3A playoff game over the Fort Morgan Mustangs, 38-7. We'll take a break and wrap it up after this on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Morgan Community College is there to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. The Palisade Bulldogs win this opening round Class 3A playoff game from Ralph Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction, 38-7. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. And Palisade made their mark early, 66 yards down the field. A 24-yard field goal by Ben Sargent gave them the 3-0 lead. Fort Morgan, though, came up with an interception by Isaac Linker, and that provided some momentum for Fort Morgan, at least momentarily, but Palisade would take that away on a two-play 79-yard drive. 14-yard run by Jason Bruce and a 65-yarder by Cam Tucker, and that made it 10-0. Then following an interception by Tucker himself, it was a short field that Palisade had to play with, and Tucker with a 1-yard run, and then had another 1-yard run with 9.2 seconds to go in the opening half. That made it 24-0. And even though Fort Morgan used up nearly 5 minutes of game clock to begin the third quarter, resulting in a 4th and 1, a 1-yard sneak by Isaac Linker to make it 24-7. Back came Palisade down the field. Touchdown runs of 5 and 10 yards by Tucker to close out the scoring, and they win 38-7 for the visiting Mustangs. Isaac Linker struggled mightily through the air. He was 7 of 13 with 3 interceptions, just 32 yards passing. Linker, though, was effective on the ground, 9 carries for 43 yards and a touchdown. J.P. Hamer, 12 for 48. The Mustangs with 123 yards of total offense. Palisade with 470 yards of total offense, all on the ground. Cam Tucker, 30 carries for 235 yards. The only reason he had 30 is because he took 3 knees for a loss of 1. But 235 yards. Jason Bruce had 14 carries for 110. Julio Rodriguez, 6 carries in the game, and he had 17 yards. Cole Schurter, 13 carries for 51 yards, and Sebastian Campbell had 11 carries for 48 yards. But, Kevin, the first thing that we addressed out there on Facebook Live was what the Mustangs had to do defensively. And I think even had they filled all their gaps, they just faced a physical force in Palisade they could not contend with because they scored on virtually every single possession.
Right. We never saw their punter. So they did score on except for the 1 interception. So
when they ran out the clock.
And they ran out the clock, right.
Yeah.
So, Fort Morgan was not able to do that. But in hindsight, Fort Morgan's got a lot to be proud of. There's 26 teams that didn't make it this far.
Right.
And they only had 2 losses in the regular season, both against playoff teams. And they just came up against the number 1 seed. Look for Palisade to be in the quarters, well, definitely the quarters, but the semis and finals. I wouldn't be surprised if Palisade takes it all. They're for real, and they're very physical. And Fort Morgan's going to have to come back and try again next year. It's been a lot of fun watching these boys play football and grow as young men, and working with you two guys. So.
And Brian, absolutely. And Brian, we addressed it at halftime. You talked about time of possession being one of the elements in a nickel package, and that was a key to the victory today.
Yeah, that was a key to it today. For Palisade, I mean, they just controlled the ball on the ground and just controlled that clock, and Fort Morgan couldn't stop them. So that led to their demise.
Mustangs end their season with an 8-3 record. Time for the Mustang Player of the Game, brought to you by Transwest. They believe that customers are number 1. Check out their selection online or just stop by one of their dealerships in Fort Morgan or Sterling today. Brian, I know you've customarily done this. All the seniors.
All the seniors. Should we read them?
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah,
We'll
take it away.
Connor Fajardo, J.P. Hamer, Porfirio Del Campo, Isaac Linker, Simon Graff, Jose Jimenez, Alex Ortega, Dylan Woods, Jahi Munoz, Julian Tronston, Nick Castaneda, Jesus Villalobos, John McKee, James Hoeknadel, Isaiah Celestino, Devin Gherkin, and Jordan Wilgenberg, our seniors this year. So
those are the Mustang Players of the Game, brought to you by Transwest. Palisade improves to 10-1, and I believe they will be hosting Meade coming up next week in the Class 3A quarterfinals. All right, the Colorado Prep Scoreboard Show is coming up in about 25 minutes if you're listening live. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer, Herrick Curtis. Our replay engineer all season as well, Emily Hernandez. We'll have plenty of basketball and baseball, Fort Morgan Mustang basketball and baseball with some regional and state wrestling sprinkled in between that as well. So plenty of Mustang sports on the way right here on B106 and B106.com. For Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde, I'm John Beltran from Ralph Stoker Stadium in Grand Junction, where the Fort Morgan Mustang football season has come to an end as the Palisade Bulldogs, the number 1 seed, eliminate the 16-seed Mustangs 38-7 on Morgan County's B106, on the TuneIn app, and on B106.com.